It's literally like snap, 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 like snapping. Like she's breaking it. They're so old that casino's been around since the 1800s. Like, not really. Vegas wasn't even founded until 1930.
200 years old.
Because she's like, what the fuck's going on? And she's calling my name to let me know some dude is right behind me.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back if you're back, and welcome if you're new. I'm Krystal.
Hey, I'm Tori.
We're party pit dealers, and we're here to tell you all things about party pits in Las Vegas.
Casinos.
All the crazy
Dealing,
stuff.
gambling,
Lots of money. Just
flying out.
money everywhere. Actually, that did happen.
Were you there that day that guy was throwing money?
Day, yeah.
Did I tell you the story about how someone tried to throw money at me and they almost kicked him out and I almost didn't get to keep the money?
What?
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about it.
Okay, yeah, let's slowly get there.
And then when I heard that story, I was like,
yeah, because it was
was a lot. I heard he threw like $2,000 at once, and I was like, why? When I was getting rained on, it was
okay. Let's start with our what the fuck updates.
What the fuck updates this week? I'll go first because I have one on top of my head. So I'm like walking to my car, and I got off early. And I'm always so good about walking to my car and like not being on my phone and being aware and not like you just gotta be safe.
I feel like every downtown in every city's the same.
Yeah.
So if you've been downtown and you have seen the seedy parts, same thing.
Right. So I'm like, but I got off early, so it's like 9:00.
Okay.
For whatever reason, I thought I was okay. So I'm walking through the casino trying to get to my car. Oh, I have a really good one too. This is what I didn't write down that I wanted to do. Walking to my car, I'm on my phone, texting my husband, and I look up right at the time, like the perfect time, because I look up, there's this man right in front of me who's literally like reaching out towards like my torso to like touch me. And I immediately stop walking because I like see him and his hand is stretched out. And I immediately like stopped walking. He was like, oh, sorry. And like kept moving. And I was like, were you about to try and touch me?
Yeah, what?
Because he was like unusually close too. You know, like there's that like,
yeah.
You know, it's not like the COVID 6 feet, but like there's just like a common like, you know, strangers when you're walking past, you kind of have this like distance. He was not in that distance. Like
that's wild. That's
yeah.
scary.
And I looked up right in the amount of time, and then I was like beating myself up because I was like, Tori, you know better. But it was early, and I was like, it's early. Like everybody's out, whatever. Like let me walk to my car. I'm telling my husband I got off early. Like, and then that happened, and I was like, that's why I don't text or I'm never even on the phone when I walk to my car. Like I have my keys in my hand, my phone in my other hand, but I'm never on it. Like, and I'm like walking, and I always look like a bum.
Yeah,
on purpose.
Me
Like
too.
I'm like hoodie
on.
sweats, janky shoes. Like I never look good walking into work on purpose because I want to walk out and I don't want anybody talking to me.
Right. Yep. I don't want anybody to recognize me as the most important thing for me.
Right. So there was one of my what the fucks this week.
Oh, it's my turn.
It is.
My what the fuck update. This one was kind of fun. I get to the table. It's a Friday or Saturday, which are like the wildest nights, right? People are letting loose. I get to this table. There's this lady. She has aviator shades on. So she's aggressive. She's just like, but fun aggressive. She's a female. She's fun aggressive. I like her energy. She's controlling her money. She's third base, which third base controls the table. And this guy, so we're in the middle of a hand. He has like 12. I have a 10 showing. And he goes, what should I do with this? What should I do? And she goes, hit that shit. And he goes, you'd hit it? And she says, every fucking time. And I'm like, damn, this lady is, we need to hang out.
I think we've talked about this before. Like women that come gamble.
Yeah.
And how when they're on their shit, it's just so great.
It's great.
It's so great.
Come to find out, somebody at the table goes, what do you do for work? She's like, I'm a 5th grade teacher. I was like, whoa.
I hope that's how she talks to her kids.
I doubt it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's no cussing.
Yeah, but
like, I hope she's like, yeah, you do. Like, come on.
with the
like,
energy and the
I hope.
gusto, yeah.
Yes. Because that would be an amazing 5th grade teacher.
I mean, the whole table kind of wasn't expecting
Right.
that. Was not expecting it. And then her best friend who would sit at the table every once in a while and play, or she would just stand next to her. I looked at her and I go, are you a teacher too? And she goes, yeah, we work at the same school. And I was like, these teachers. These teachers.
Lit. I've been like, what school is that? Let me send my kids over there. I want my daughter to have your confidence.
Right? I was just like, oh, that was fun. That was fun. That was just
I
like,
love that.
oh.
I love when you have good tables.
Because she followed me for 2 downs. So, and I was on the hour 20 string. So I was with her for
Oh, that's a long time.
hour 40 minutes at least. Because I was
2 hours and 40 minutes.
2 hours and 40 minutes, almost 3 hours. Yeah. And then she didn't follow me to my 3rd table. She was done pretty much after that. But yeah. That was kind of like, oh, what the fuck? I didn't think elementary school teacher.
Right.
Usually you think they're so nice. So
and
gentle.
Sweet. And they're
and
like,
sweet.
yeah. Maybe this was her letting loose.
Yeah.
I had a teacher one time, and I didn't know she was a teacher till like 20, 30 minutes in. She was like plastered. She was like ordering champagne, just like the cocktail server would bring one. She'd be like, will you just bring me another one? Like, and then she would bring the other one and she would throw down the first one and then start drinking the second one. And she was like, I'm here with a bunch of my teacher friends and they're all lame and they're sleeping. But I'm like, it's summer. Oh, it was the first week of summer. She's like, it's summer. Like, we need to go out. Like, we just ended the year and it's terrible. Like, and I was like, well, you can stay with me all night.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be your
I'll be
friend
here.
for the
Yeah.
next hour. Like, she was great. Do you have 2 what the fuck updates or just that one?
I just have that one for now. I'll save the other one for later.
Okay. I'm going to tell this one because I think this is a great story.
Okay.
I put it on my story on Instagram.
I think I saw it.
I don't know if you saw it, but it's a
yeah.
really good one. So I'm like, we can't park on property. Rolls eyes. Can't park on property. So I park at the neighboring casino. And this is the second time this week that the little thing doesn't work. So when you like go into a parking lot and like the thing goes me. The arm. Yeah, I didn't know what to call it.
It's an arm.
An arm. So the arm goes up, you drive through, you usually take a ticket. So for the employees, you like scan your little pass, the arm goes up, you go in. So I'm going to leave work. And it's the second time this week that the thing's not working. And the good thing about the casino I park at is if you just hit the little call button, they don't even try and talk to you. They just open the arm.
Yeah.
And you
most
go.
of the time, yeah.
Like, they don't even try and be like, hello, parking. Like, what's your problem? Like, they'll just open the arm and let you go. So I'm, like, yelling out the side of my window. I'm like, just hit the call button. Like, they'll just let you out. Not working. First car, it's like, there's, like, 3 or 4 cars, and they're all coming from different angles. So this big truck backs up. So we're all backing up to let this truck back up because he's like, oh, I can't get out. Next person pulls forward. These 2 bitches fucking pull in front of me. Clearly I was there first.
Mm-hmm.
But because everyone had like backed up and it was weird, these 2 cars pulled in front of me and I was like, all right, whatever.
Right? You're like,
I was like, I'm going home.
I'm just trying to go home.
I had a great day.
Yeah.
I'm going home. Second car, can't get out. So I get out of my car because I'm like, fuck this. I'm trying to go home. I get out of my car with my little employee pass because I'm like, I'm just going to scan everyone out. Fuck this. So I'm talking to a lady and I'm like, oh, just hit the call button. It's not even ringing. Did you know when you hit the call button, it rings like a phone?
It's broken.
It's not even, it's broken. Usually when it's broken, they just have the arm up and they just let everybody out. Because they're typically pretty good at it.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm just going to call the casino. Calls the casino. She's like, I go back to my car. Oh, my employee thing won't even scan either. I go back to my car. She's like, they're going to send somebody out. So like 3 or 4 more cars pull up. I'm sitting there for like 15 minutes. I'm like, it's fucking, they're not going to.
It took that long?
Yeah.
I'm
like,
left.
it's, yeah, I couldn't. You can't go back. There's no.
They also have the claws on the floor.
Yeah, they have the little spikes.
Yeah, the spikes. You can't leave because then you'll bust your tires.
There's no, like I was literally stuck. So I was like, all right. If it had taken any longer, I probably would have gone in the casino.
Inside, yeah.
Yeah. So there's this like car that pulls up. And I see these like young people walk to this car and I'm like, all right. So they pull up. They're trying to like wiggle their way in. And I lean out the window. I'm like, it's broken. They're sending someone out to fix it. This girl gets out of the car. She goes, like, gives me this face. And I was like,
the sarcastic,
the
like,
fuck?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. She goes to the entrance side because the entrance side doesn't have spikes.
Yeah,
but
that one does not.
the arm is still down. Squats, arm underneath the bar, presses up, straight legs, straight arms. The thing is like snapping. Yes, it is snapping. The thing is like, I can hear it. It's like
strong man.
No, she did.
I
can hear it.
A hero.
Like the hero I've always wanted in my life. It's literally like snap, 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 like snapping. Like she's breaking it. And she's like holding it up, waving everyone through. Of course, her car goes through. Yeah. So she just jumps in her car. But she's like waving me on. So I'm like, oh, maybe she's going to hold it up for me. The big-ass truck that was there first skirts in front of me because who knows how long he had been there, whatever. Everyone in Vegas is rude. The drivers are just rude.
Yeah, sometimes you have to choose your
It's a terrible,
battles.
It's a terrible place to drive. But the thing just is like stuck up there. So then everyone's going through, and I was like, thank you, kind stranger, for saving us all, because who knows when somebody would have came out and fixed that. But it was great. It was a great moment.
True hero. I love that. You know what's funny is that happened to me last Saturday.
Oh, really?
I was stuck behind. I was still on the ramp. That's how bad it was. And I was like, oh, no. Luckily, all of these people, there's 3 cars that try to get out. They're all pushing the button. They're all scanning their tickets. Nothing's happening. They all pull out and park because somebody got out to go in the casino and grab somebody to help. And I parked originally, and I also did that. It's not working. And they're like, no, it's not working. I was like, did you push the button? No,
right.
Somebody went inside to get him, and I was like, okay. I parked for a second, and I go, but I have an employee pass, so let me try my pass.
Yeah.
So I go pull up, boop, opens, and I was like, what are these fools doing?
Oh, my gosh.
And there's this Casino Binions, and it's like notoriously known on the weekends, the arm's just up because people break it. People break it every weekend, and I think at one point, at a certain time, they're just open it because they don't want to keep wasting money fixing that arm every weekend.
That's usually how it is at the other casino, too.
Oh.
Like, usually at 4 a.m., they'll just have it open.
It'll just be open because they're not going to bother with all the drunk people or the people who didn't pay.
It's not worth the damage. Right. Yeah.
So, that's funny. Yeah. Well.
There you go. There's my what the fuck updates. But I was sitting there, and I was so angry, and I was like,
it's the work. Everybody knows that feeling of getting off of work and you just want to go home and then something.
Yeah, but then I had the assholes that pulled in front of me, and then this asshole that won't back up to let somebody else try. And then I'm like, well, I'll just get out of my car and I'll just figure it out for everybody. Like, it was just a lot. And then here's this little drunk 20-year-old who gave me this sarcastic ass thumbs up. And I could have kissed her, to be honest. Like, she saved it. She literally saved it. And I was like, all right, great.
Next to her car and been like, 2
I know, right? I'd have been like, y'all need another shot? Like, what do you want? Like, it was great. It was great. So this week you're sick. Last week I was sick.
So we're going to talk a little bit about catching, spreading germs. We work in a casino. A lot of people think schools are the worst place. Your kid goes to school, you get sick, everyone gets sick. No. Working at a casino.
Casinos are dirty, dirty, dirty places.
You got people from all over the world coming into your building.
Right. Everyone's touching the same chips, the same table, the same chairs. Like, you're touching the same chips as your coworkers. Like, God forbid somebody fucking sneeze.
Oh my gosh.
Into their hand and then touch the chips that then you have to then put back into your rack to spread contamination and then re-give to other people.
So
nasty.
I'm sick. As you can tell.
It's like, are you okay? Throws up.
Yeah. It's mostly, I'm like at the end of it, you know how the cough always comes last?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. So I'm fine now, but it was pretty rough. And everybody, pretty much our whole party pit all went like one at a time, right after another.
That's usually how it goes. I feel like once a year, something goes around with all of us. And we're all, a majority of us are sick at some point. Like,
all the symptoms I had, if I was on a table, I would have been struggling and just like constant runny nose, sneezing, coughing. And then it's nasty when you have to go to work and you're sick and you just like have tissues, but
you can't,
and then you have to talk to people and then you're like, you can't even talk. Some people lose their voice.
Yeah.
It's so bad. The grossest thing, I think, when it comes to like spreading germs, the grossest thing I've ever seen, because I worked at a card room and I did the poker floor, is that you can eat while you play poker. So not only are you touching chips, but you're also touching cards. This guy was eating chicken wings with his hands. And then he was licking his fingers clean, then a napkin, then would grab his cards or his chips or whatever it was that he was doing on the game. And I remember seeing that for the first time and going, ugh, how? You know where those chips have been?
They don't allow that in Vegas on the regular tables because it's a biohazard, obviously.
I don't know if they allowed it on the poker floor here, though. I don't know if
maybe for like the big tournaments. Maybe. Maybe. Vegas has very strict health regulations for that reason, because we get people from all over the world and different types of cultures and people have different hygiene, and it's just, ooh, that's gross though.
That's nasty.
I saw some guy kiss his chips multiple times, and I just was like, and I got to the table and he was still doing it. I was like, do you know how dirty those are? Because I was like, did the last girl not tell you?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, do you know how dirty those are, sir? He's like, it's good luck. And I was like,
you're going to catch an STD.
I'm like, first of all, nasty. Second of all, whatever you have, no, I'm touching. No, it's just gross. And that's why when I see women walk through the casino floor barefoot, and don't get me wrong, like, casinos have really good cleaning policies.
They do.
Like,
they do. Because they don't want to shut down, right?
When our graveyard pad comes in, like, they they dust all of the countertops every single night. All of the slots. They have this giant dust. Every single night they do that. Like, and they have like the little carpet zambonis that like drive around and clean the carpets, you know, like they're very clean places. They have really good cleaning procedures. But anytime I see a woman walk through the casino floor barefoot, the bottom of the feet are always black. And I'm just like, just gross. Like, we've talked about people peeing on the floor. People peeing on the floor. People break glass on the floor too. Yeah. Like, every casino is carpet. So if you're walking, like, nothing is perfect. You know, of course they clean it up right away. They tape the area off, but it's like nothing is perfect. Then you cut your foot. Then you're walking through this dirty ass floor that people pee on. Like,
people spit on the floor in the casino.
People spit. I've seen people spit on the floor, and I'm like,
I see it all the time. Yeah, you're inside, but people, that whole Vegas mentality, right? Their inhibitions are lowered, and they think they can do whatever they want. And I see people spit on the floor all the time, or they're ashing their cigarettes.
Yes, I was gonna say ashing their cigarettes, and I'll like flick them an ashtray. I'm like, are you a barbarian? Right? Or are we civilized people? Yeah. I'm confused. Like, are you not in Vegas spending all this money? Fucking ash your shit in an ashtray.
We have ashtrays on every table.
Like 2 or 3 on every table. Every single slot machine.
Every slot.
There are more ashtrays in Las Vegas than there are people. Like, honestly, fucking find it. It's not that hard to find. Every trash can has an ashtray thing. Like, it's not that hard to find. Like, yeah, but don't walk through the casino floor barefoot. Maybe we should add that to the outro.
When I was younger, me and my best friend, she knows who she is. My bestie, we made a pact. We were 16 maybe. We said we will never be those girls that take our shoes off. Never. I don't care if my feet are bleeding.
Yes.
You make sure you wear the right shoes, and if you didn't, you're suffering. And we have stuck by that since we were teenagers. Yes. I have never taken my shoes off and walked barefoot on any floor.
And I have walked to my car before, like,
just,
in dying. Absolute pain. My feet are on fire. Like, I can barely move, like, type of a thing. And I still don't take my shoes off. I won't do it.
That's so disgusting.
It's dirty as hell.
So, yeah. And, oh my gosh, getting sick with COVID that came through. That was wild.
Right. But you know what the thing with COVID, though, was every table had hand sanitizer on it. I don't think you were with us for COVID.
I wasn't working after COVID, but my husband was at work. Yeah.
Every table had hand sanitizer. There's hand sanitizer stations everywhere. We had alcohol spray. So when we had a dead game, we actually had to go through, spray the tables, and wipe down all the chairs. And the chips got cleaned every single
the craziest
night.
part. Yeah.
Every single night the chips got cleaned. And as soon as COVID was over, they took away all of our hand sanitizers. They took away all the alcohol sprays. We have like 2 or 3 stations in the casino where you like go up and you're like bleep and hand sanitizer comes out.
Yeah.
That's fucking watered down tequila. Don't let them fool you. That shit is pure liquid. It is not gel. It is not it's not hand sanitizer. Will it kill some shit? Absolutely. You should fucking smell it. Kill your damn brain cells. And then chips stop getting cleaned.
I hate that part. I'm like, if we can clean them, why don't we at least like once a week?
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, graveyard, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m.
When not a soul is in the
You are not doing shit.
Yeah, nothing. Clean
those goddamn chips. It's not that hard.
It's not.
It's not. It's not that hard. And I'm like, give you guys something to do. Once a week, clean the chips.
Yeah, I remember.
Because it's just dirty.
When COVID came around and they started talking about how they were cleaning chips, I was blown away because I had experience before then working in casino. And I talked to my husband and our casino people and we were just like, how are they going to do? That's impossible. Like, no one has ever heard of cleaning chips. And then they did it.
Gloves. We laid out rags, like the little white rags. Had a little spray bottle. And then I would put another towel around my finger and I'd beep every single one. And then I would just take the rag and I'd flip them all over. Hand clean.
That's
Hand clean them. Have to do it though, because it's just gross.
It's disgusting.
And they would have like, I remember one time I was getting a drink and then I was walking out at the end of the night. It's probably like 4 or 5 in the morning. And they were doing all of the roulette chips.
Oh, even the roulette
all
chips?
Of the roulette chips. They weren't just doing the rack. They were doing all the color chips. And they literally just had a mound. Like there was 3 people working and they were just like toss them into the mound. And I'm sure at the end they just muck it. I'm sure it's faster that way. Like they just muck them all up really quick. But yeah, casinos are super dirty places. Definitely wash your hands in the bathroom. One of the floors always makes that a joke because people will go up to the pit boss and be like, hey, I'm just going to run to the bathroom real quick. And he always goes, yeah, wash your hands.
Yeah.
And people laugh, but
no, you see
wash your fucking hands.
Walk in and walk right back out. And you know damn well they didn't wash their hand. Then they come to the table and then they're touching all their chips. And we got to touch chips and we're passing chips around. The other day, I had these guys at the table and they had $1,000 chips. And they were up, so they were celebrating the $1,000 chips. Then they decided to put the $1,000 chip in their eye and then take a picture. And I was like, and I did the, no, it's dirty, don't put it on your face. And they
Thanks,
just
Mom.
kept doing it.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah,
and
no.
I was just like, well, all right. It's already touching your face.
No. Oh, that gave me heebie-jeebies. Don't do it. No, chips are really dirty. Like, leave that shit on the table. Place your bets, take your hands away. Like, first of all, it's safer on the table than it is in your pockets, than it is in your hands. Like, people who hold their chips like this. It's safer on the table. The cameras can see it. If somebody runs by, snags it, chances are the casino will replace it. Like, it's safer on the table. If you come to me and you're like, oh, I lost $1,000 chip out of my pocket, I'm going to be like,
can't help you.
Shit.
Yeah, that
But
sucks.
if someone's like, oh, I lost $1,000 chip, it was on the table, then they can run, then they'll take it more seriously and they run it back. Like, but
yeah.
Don't put the chips on your face. Don't put the chips in your eye. This one girl one time, this guy was playing. His girl was passed out behind him. You're not allowed to sleep at the table because security kept going over and waking him up. But he was playing so much money. It was like 2:50 in the morning. This hooker comes over, sees him playing, and she like buys in for $20, drops 2 of her chips into his girl's drink.
Ew.
And then is like trying to like get them out. And he's like, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. And I'm like,
trash.
Nasty. But I think she was like, my money.
Oh,
but I'm like,
no.
You lost it, girl. Unless you're going to buy her a new drink, which I know you're not going to do. And you're going to take it over to the bar and have them dump it out to get your chips out. No, thanks.
I mean, see, but then that's the other thing when people come to Vegas and they want to wear their mask and have their hand sanitizer and like be really like very particular about it. At that point, I'm just like, you're in a room full of people from all over the world. Just let go.
Yeah. For real. Just Vegas is just a dirty place, you know, like there's just germs. And I remember when I first moved here, like I was like sick a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand why, because I really don't get sick that often. And I've never had allergies a day in my life. And then I moved here and people were like, oh, you have allergies. And I'm like, no, I fucking don't. And they were like, no, you have Vegas allergies. And I'm like, no, I've never had allergies in my life. Like, and I come from a very super allergy type place where people are like dying for 6 months out of the year.
Yeah, with like a bunch of trees and wilderness, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And like the pollen's everywhere and stuff. And I remember I was working my first like industry job. I had this cough, but I was fine. And I was like, I don't understand where this cough is coming from. Like, I feel fine. I feel great. I'm not sick. I'm not anything like, but for whatever reason I'm coughing. They're like, oh, it's the smoke. And I was like, no, I don't smoke. And they're like, no, you're not used to the secondhand smoke. So you're getting secondhand smoke in your lungs. And that's why you're coughing. And I was like, oh, it made total sense.
Yeah.
Made total sense. But same thing with just like the germs and stuff. Like, it's just dirty. And then the people peeing on the floors, people touching. Don't get in a day club pool. Can we talk about that?
The pools.
Don't do it. If you're in a resort,
guaranteed pink eye.
if you are in a resort pool, whatever. If you can see the bottom of the pool, whatever, maybe. Hot tub, fine, because it's hot.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's going to kill the bacteria. But like day club pools, like I used to work at a day club and they had that shit cleaned every single night. And I kid you not, in the morning, you could see the bottom. By the end of the day, you can't see the bottom anymore.
Cloudy.
It's cloudy.
Oh, I remember I went to one and only time I went there because I went there. It was already like middle of the event. And I was like, I am not getting in that water. That water is nasty. You could not see the bottom of the pool.
People obviously pee in the water, obviously. People have sex in that water. People will drop their drinks in the water. Unless you have like a cabana that has like a private pool. Because I get it. It's fucking hot. I've been to a day club before and I'm like, how do you not get in the water? Right. Like it's 115 degrees outside right now. You're in Vegas. You spend all this money. You're trying to see whatever DJ is performing. Like, how do you not get in the water? It's hot as hell. I get it. Go get yourself a $40 slushie at the bar. Yeah. Spend the money, buy a cabana with a private pool.
Yes.
That has its own pool. And that's the water you get in because
that's the one you get in.
The water at day club pools is dirty as hell.
Ooh.
Dirty as hell. And you can see like nope.
It was gross. Yeah. I told my friend, I was like, I'm not getting in that water because they all wanted to get in. And then luckily we got pulled into someone's VIP and I was like, I'll get in this water.
Right. Exactly.
But I'm not going down there.
And I've just like seen people have sex in the water and I'm like, I just can't like as a woman to be like have like the penetration, just have all the water slushing in and out.
Yeah, I think about that too. And I'm like, I don't want all that in there.
Dirty.
My friend got into, I'm not going to say the property. She got into the water. 30 minutes later, she's like, oh, my contact's bothering me. She takes her contact out. I had eye drops, I think, so she tries to clean it out. She's like, oh, it just hurts. She got pink eye. 30 minutes. We were in this place for about 30 minutes. She got in the water, came out of the water. Next day, found out she was
submerge?
Yeah, she was in the water. She was splashing around. They were all having fun.
See, that's the thing too. When people like splash and shit, I don't want that shit in my face. That my eyes.
No, actually, it happened. Not here, but it happened in. Me and my friends went to Mexico, and we were all in the pool that time. One girl ended up walking out with pink eye. Luckily, Mexico though, we just went to the pharmacy, got eye drops real quick.
Right.
But yeah.
No, dirty. Can you imagine going to Vegas and getting pink eye?
It was her second day here too, so it sucks. So
right, I was gonna say, I was like, you're trying to be cute, your eyes inflame, pink, it's burning, it's hurting.
Yeah.
You're contagious. Oh God. No, just keep in mind that Vegas is a very dirty place.
Yes. Very
like
dirty.
and always wash your hands. I've seen a coworker go to the bathroom. Who knows what the fuck she was doing in there? I don't know. Maybe she wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Flush, because all the toilets are automatic, and just walk out and walk into the break room.
Hopefully she's just in there texting.
And I was like, maybe she's doing cocaine. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I was gonna say, I was like, maybe she didn't have to go party. I don't know. But I'm like,
at least do it for the show.
Yes.
Right? At least do it for
Yes.
like, I'm
Please.
washing my
Right.
hands.
But we also have girls that we work with that as soon as they leave the table, they're like, I need to wash my hands.
Yeah.
And they don't touch the doors. They don't touch the clock out thing. Like one of the girls is such a germaphobe.
I know who you're
She's
talking
like,
about.
I just washed my hands and I forgot to clock out. And she like literally went and clocked out and then just walked around with her finger like this.
See, I'm not that far.
And then she tried to open the door into our break room and she was like pushing it down with one finger. And I was like,
You'll be fine. You're not going to die from a couple of germs. But, you know, like, don't
Right.
touch your
But
eyes.
just-
Don't put your fingers in your mouth.
don't put your chips on your face. Don't put your chips near your mouth. Like,
Yeah, don't do any of that.
no.
But I also am like, I can't stop all the germs, obviously.
Right.
So I'm not going to stress out about it. But
Right.
I'm still going to do my part.
Oh, I have this thing with the strip club and wet money.
People have
bring
given
me
us wet money
if you
on
and
the
yeah, I
table.
was gonna say if you bring me money and it's wet, I'm gonna throw up in my mouth a little bit.
I say something. People will hand me money and it's wet, and I'll go, "Why is this wet?"
I started doing that because before I would just like bite my tongue about it and I'd just be like, okay, like it's fucking wet, and then I'd be like, Floor, I need fucking hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
I need something. Be like, go steal that girl's. Some girls have little hand
Little
sanitizer
hand
that they
sanitizer.
bring downstairs with
Yeah.
them. I'm like, steal that girl's hand sanitizer real quick. Tell her I need it. But I did that one day. I like grabbed it and I immediately dropped it and I was like, why is your money wet? That's sketchy. And he was like, I was at the pool. And we have a pretty
That's what
popular
they tell
pool.
us,
We have a
yeah.
really popular pool. But I'm like, it's weird.
Mhm.
This weird and it's sketchy. And he was like, why? I was like, you're in Vegas.
It's wet.
Why is this
dude.
money wet? Especially in the strip club. Like, men would bring me damp money and I'd be like, bro,
That's
what?
why.
Why?
There's no pool there.
You're just giving it to me because you're trying to get rid of it too. And so now I just have this weird thing with like,
wet money. Oof.
oh, it
Yeah,
just
there's
gives me.
No, it really
No,
does. It
it's
is icky when you
gross.
because you grab it and then you're just like immediate. Like, what did this go through? Because I don't want to be a part of it. This one guy, one time. So you said earlier leaving chips on the table, right?
Mhm.
Like leave your chips on the
Just,
table
yeah,
if you need to
don't
go to the
touch 'em.
bathroom.
Right.
Some people are very skeptical and they don't want to leave their money on the table. They think they're going to get robbed or they think we're going to take it, right? Like they're just being weird. This one guy was about to walk off my table with a bunch of $5 chips, which those are like gold to us because we use those so often.
Yeah, don't take the rack
walk
away
from
because
my
then I
table
can't
with
do
red.
my job. Yeah.
So he had it in his hand, and he had came from another table with them in his hand, and he had played a couple hands, and I guess he made however much he wanted to make, and then he was going to leave, and I said, wait, come back. Give me those red chips, I'll color you up. You're leaving, right? I try to like finesse it because I know sometimes they're weird about it. And he goes, oh, okay, yeah. He lets go of the chips on the table like this.
Are they super warm?
They didn't fall apart. Like, you know, usually you drop your chips and they scatter. They all were stuck together. And I was just like, what the fuck? So I grabbed them. They're like hot. And he had glued these chips together with the heat of his hand. They were
I was like, he was holding them, probably the sweat and stuff, and he just was like
they
squeezing
were a
them.
little damp. They were hot, and I grabbed them and I was like, oh, I messed up. I don't want to touch these.
Oh,
I cut him out. I gave him his black chip. I look at the floor and I go, those chips are hot. Touch them. And the floor touched me like they're warm. And I was like, they're warmer than that when he gave them to me. And I was like, that's a first. I've
Ugh.
never had somebody have that much heat to where the chips were
Yeah.
like fused together.
yeah.
It was weird.
Oh, I was gonna say in roulette, there's a table. I'm rarely back at that table anymore, but there's a table, and the purple chips that we have just all stick together. Like I try not to even give those chips out anymore because they're so dirty.
Oh, they're dirty.
They're
yeah.
so dirty. They don't get cleaned anymore. So like when I can't even like cut into things properly.
Oh, that's so annoying. Yeah.
This one time I
Get
went to
stuck.
Binions and I was playing and I'm watching this dealer and I'm like, she cannot cut worth a damn. Like, why is she can't cut into any of these chips. The next dealer came in, same thing. It wasn't until like 3 weeks later I was on that roulette table. These purple chips are sticking together because they're so dirty and they're not cleaned and they're all dingy. Like you can feel it. Like sometimes I leave roulette and I can feel the residue on my fingers.
Ew.
Like, you know, when you pet a dog,
Yeah.
the dog's like kind of
Yeah.
dirty
And
you
then
like
you have
the
that
residue.
film. Yeah.
That's how I feel sometimes when I leave roulette. And it wasn't until I was on that table a few weeks later and the purple chips weren't breaking apart, then I was like, That's why none of the Binion dealers can cut their chips, because they're so dirty and they're so old that casino's been around since the 1800s. Like, not really. Vegas wasn't even founded until 1930.
200 years old.
And that's why they couldn't cut, because the chips were so dirty and they were sticking together.
That's sick.
Yeah, really gross, really gross. Just keep
so gross.
Just keep in mind, Vegas is a dirty place. No casino takes doctor's notes after COVID. Dealers come to work sick. We have to. Everybody's got to go to work. Like, you got to work. You got to make your money. You're sick, especially if it's going to be a good weekend. You're going to do it. Like,
oh, yeah.
When one of us is sick, we all get sick at some point.
Yeah. Hello.
It just circles through. We're all in the same break room
like
together.
In the last group right now.
You are kind of in the last one.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I kind of like peaked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like a middle group, and now there's kind of like just the few stragglers left that are like, hey.
Yeah, that's
like,
me right now.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not terrible, but I was going to say something. Oh, I don't know how. I think this is part of it, but I don't even know if this is like verified. But I heard one of the reasons why we have to change out cards every 2 hours on ones that people touch, obviously for marking. And, but beyond that, another reason why shuffle machines break is because of what we have on our hands. So
like oils,
lotions, oils, hand sanitizers, or just dirt, right, will mess up the shufflers, and that's why they break. That's why cards get stuck in there.
That makes total sense. I'm surprised we don't have like maintenance, but that's probably why we have extra machines.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure once one breaks, they replace it. And I'm sure that machine gets maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's what I heard. I heard that some properties will even tell their dealers, like, try not to go extra with lotions. Because I know some dealers, like, back in the day would have that little pink thing.
Yeah, that's like sticky fingers, so you can grab the cards easier.
The cards, yeah. And I don't see people with that anymore. I don't know if that's allowed.
We used to have girls that would do that, and our manager went around one day and threw them all away.
Yeah, see, so that's probably why.
Because they were like,
messing up the machines.
Yeah, he was like, that's fucking up the machines.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so casinos are dirty.
They're dirty. Yeah, I would say just keep it in mind. Just keep it in mind. They're dirty. You know, you can't control it. Come in, have a good time. Don't add to it.
Moving on. Next topic. We always talk about walking through the pit. It's our outro. It's our exit. And we keep saying we need to explain what that means for those people out there who don't know what that is. A pit is our group of tables. How else do I describe it?
Yeah, it's like the little circle, oval.
Yeah, whatever shape they put it in.
Shape, square maybe, that you see in the pit. And all of the backs of the tables are facing each other.
So all of the dealers' backs are facing each other.
Right.
And then there's usually a desk in between, like in the middle.
Some type of podium with a computer.
Something. Yeah.
Desk, TVs. We have TVs on ours. Like.
Yeah, we have TVs.
Something like that. And that's the pit.
That's the pit.
That's considered the pits.
And the way I explain it to some people who ask is I go, in a store, you wouldn't go behind the cashier. Like, you wouldn't go where the cashier is.
I'm going to start using that. Yeah.
And that's how you have to think of us, is that we're like cashiers, and you wouldn't go behind a cashier. You wouldn't go where they're working, right? Because there's money, there's important things in there that you wouldn't, it's just common sense not to go behind a cashier or go behind their desk or go in there, whatever. So same thing. Don't go behind us. Don't walk through the pits, because that is actually our workspace.
Yes, a big no-no. You should never be behind a table. If you're behind a table, you're in the pit.
You're going to have to walk around all of those tables to go to the other side. I'm so sorry to tell you. And one, it's for our safety.
They don't want you where all the money is.
All the money's back there.
But yeah, our safety too. There's a horrible story from like Planet Hollywood. Oh God, you didn't hear that story? A few years ago, some chick was working and her ex-boyfriend came in, walked into the pit and stabbed her, and she died. Like, while she was sitting at the table working, he walked into the pit, stabbed her, and she died.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's a safety thing for you. It's a safety thing for us as dealers. safety for the casino. Yeah, that's a perfect way of describing it. It's like when you're at the store, you're checking out, you don't go behind the cash register. That's a really good way to describe it. I had this guy who used to come play with me all the time, and the table next to me, there was like this it's like a really young couple. Like, clearly I've never gambled before, never been in a casino. The guy goes around to go to the bathroom, circles back to go back to the table, walks through the pit. We're all like, you can't be in the pit, you can't be in the pit. He's like, doesn't know what's happening, so he doesn't know what that means. Goes to his girlfriend, grabs his phone from his girlfriend's bag, walks back into the pit to take a photo.
Oh no. From that point of
view. So he's got the dealer, the back side of the table, and his girlfriend like on the other side. And my player was like, young man, are you trying to get arrested?
Yeah.
And he like looked at him, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, you can't be in here. You need, because clearly he just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it was a situation where it was something weird, but like, clearly he just didn't know. He was very young. His girl was young. And I just told him, I was like, come here. Because I didn't want him
to get in trouble.
Yeah. So I'm like, come here. I'm like, stand right here. I was like, if you're behind, I was like, in a casino, you can't be behind the tables. I was like, you're not allowed to have your phone at the table. You're not allowed to take photos of the casino. I was like, I was like, stop walking through here. And because the guy was like, you just want to get arrested, huh? Because we had already yelled at him for walking through. And then he grabs his phone. First no. He's taking a photo. Second no. And then he's in the pit taking a photo.
That's bold.
Yeah.
That's bold. That's definitely he didn't know, because
he really didn't know.
If you do know, that's bold if you decide to do something like that and like that's really bold.
Yeah.
Because So yeah, it escalates. The first time you'll get a warning.
Yeah, everyone's like, you just can't be in the pit. Like, get out of the pit.
The second time, you're most likely going to get, like, you're going to get
It's going to be rude.
You're going to get ripped apart.
It's going to be rude. It's going to be like, do not walk in this pit. You cannot be here. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to have customer service to it.
Well, no, I think that's most places.
Really?
And then you won't. And that'll be your last chance. You might get 2 warnings.
Yeah.
That third time, if you do it again,
security's coming.
You're out. Security's coming too. You'll be lucky if it's your last warning, and most likely
they just
you're
kick you out for the day. Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
We get it if you don't know, but if you know and you just go, I'm just gonna walk through real quick. No, there's no real quick. I just need to go right there. Nope, there's none of that.
No, you gotta walk around.
Walk around.
I can spot them from a mile away. Who's going to walk through the pit or not.
You can.
I'll be at the table and some guy will be walking up. I'm like, he's about to walk through the pit. Like, you can just tell by the way they're, like, walking. Okay. And I'm like, nope. And I'll, like, stretch my arm out. And I'm like, nope. Or I'll be on the box. I'll be like, sir, can't be in here. I've had a couple of times in roulette, there's, like, this little bar that comes out of the side of the table. And that's as far as you can go. But in roulette, you can kind of walk around the side of the table, like, towards the back side, like, where I stand. But there's a bar that comes out that stops you from doing that. There have been 3 times that I can think of that I'll be mucking or I'll be doing something with my rack, stacking chips, and I turn around and the person's right next to me. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, you can't be right here.
It's funny when we get really busy sometimes. We're just like
and you're in the zone, like, because you're moving.
And then all of a sudden, like, you're like, wait a minute.
You're like, you can't do that. Yeah. And it's always like the first 2 times it happened to me, it was people who were new to roulette. They came to my table. They're like, I don't know how to play. And they're just trying to reach their number.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, oh, well, let me walk around you in the pit, around this person, around the bar, and let me stand right next to you. And then I turn around and I'm like,
shoulder to shoulder with them.
I was like, you can't be past this bar. Like,
I'm like, you want to spin the ball too?
I know. I'm like, if you need help, let me know. Third time it happened was just the other week. The dealer behind me was yelling my name. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? Because I was like, why is she calling my name?
Yeah.
So she's like, Tori. And I like eventually end up turning around and there's a man standing literally so close to me right behind me.
That's
and
so
I was
creepy.
like, and you know what really pissed me off was I like my floor, and he was at the computer right next to me. And I was like, You're telling me you didn't see that?
Yeah.
You didn't see a man come up in the pit and stand right behind me. So I'm like, hello, are you playing? And I'm like swooped my arm around, grabbed his shoulder. I'm like, hello, are you playing? And I'm like pushing him this way. He's like, yeah, can I buy in? And I'm like, yeah, you cannot stand there though. You need to be like hugging the table at the edge. Like you can't stand here. And then my floor was like, oh, you didn't know him? I was like,
even if
did
I
you
did.
think I knew him? I was like, you didn't.
Even
So
if I
I'm like, so
did.
you're telling me you saw him? He was like, oh, he walked up to you kind of confident. And I'm like, so you saw him walk through the pit, walk up behind me, didn't say anything to me. The dealer behind me saw it happen. She's creeping because she's like, what the fuck's going on? And she's calling my name to let me know some dude is right behind me. Yeah, in the pit at my table, Rack's right there. I'm in a bra.
Right? We're in bras and skirts, remember?
And I was like, whoa, scoot this way for me. And I already had a full table, so maybe he was like, oh, let me just figure out where I can stand. But I was mad at my floor because I was like, dude.
Yeah, especially if you're busy. Like,
yeah,
that's where we need to like help each other out.
And
right?
then I was like, maybe he didn't see it. He was in the computer. You know, some people, what the fuck ever, they zone into the computer. Yeah. And then he was like, oh, he walked up to you kind of, and I'm like, you fucking saw that?
Yeah.
And you didn't say anything?
Thanks.
You didn't stop him? You didn't do anything? Oh, and then another time this chick was in the pit, just standing in the middle. Same floor. Walked up to her and goes, Miss Lady, you can't be right here. And she's like, no, it's okay. And he looked at her. First of all, I'm already laughing because he called her Miss Lady.
Miss Lady.
He's like, Miss Lady, you can't be right here. You can't stand here. And she's like, oh, no, it's okay. Like, I'm just watching. And he was like, no, it's not okay. I need you to go this way. So he's got his arm around her, but he's trying not to touch her. So his arm is like hovering. And he's like, please come this way. And she would not move. She would not move. And I know he can't touch her. And I almost had the chick on the box next to me tap me out so I could move her. Because I was about to be like, hi. Because then I would touch her and just be like,
yeah,
scoot, 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 you know. And then so he like kind of got her around to the side of the thing. And then she like went back into the pit, leaned up against the Texas Hold'em table, but like inside the pit.
Like how floors do it? Like how they lean up on there? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but inside the pit, like by the computer, the screen that says Texas Hold'em. And he was like, ma'am, do you see this? You can't be here. Like, yeah, just don't do it. Don't walk through the pit. It's not good. But I have some funny stories of people being in the pit. I was dancing on the box one time. Some guy came in and asked me for a private dance.
Oh, okay.
While I was dancing.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into the guy who throws money. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I was like dancing on the box doing my thing. He walks in. He's like, and he had just played with me. And he was like asking me for a private dance, but I like turn around because someone called my name. So I like turn around. Obviously someone saw him standing there before I saw him standing there. I turn around and I'm like, oh, you can't be in the pit. He's like, yeah, but you do dances. And I'm like, no, I just finished telling you at my table I don't do dances. Like, I'm dancing as part of my job, but I'm not dancing. No, I don't do dances. Like, and I was like, you have to leave. But I'm friends with security.
That's hilarious. Does he think we have a back room?
That's what I was wondering. Clearly, he thought I was lying to him at the table when I told him I don't do dances. So he's like,
he was waiting.
Let me double check in case she changes her mind.
Next, is this where we line up?
Right, for real. So, but I'm friends with security, so like 3 security guards rolled in really fast.
Yeah.
And one of them was like, hey, man, like, you can't be in there. He's like, oh, okay, like, I just didn't know. Because then he backed up and leaned against the inside of a table right next to another dealer. And he was like, well, can I be here? And I was like, no. And then security came in. And they were like, and he was like, looked at him. He's like, are you good, man?
Yeah.
Because I just think he wasn't all there in the head, to be honest. He's like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I just didn't know. He's like, yeah, don't do it again.
Don't do it again. Like, stay on the outside. Don't come in.
Don't come in the pit.
That lady you were just talking about, we talked about this in one of the episodes where casinos are different, where this isn't the customer's always right. Like, that's one of the hard rules. You can't be in the pit. You just can't be in the pit. Like, and it does get awkward.
There's a lot of rules in a casino that you kind of have to follow.
You have to. It's so awkward when someone's in the pit and then the floor is trying to explain to them why they can't be in the pit, but they're not moving out of the pit. So the floor is kind of like, you got to get out. But they're like,
and then
why?
At some point it's like, okay, now I have to be aggressive with you because you cannot be in here.
Yeah. I'll explain it to you once you're standing outside of the pit. Right. Oh, I love like some of our floors. One of the floors was so annoyed this night because it was one of those nights where like everyone's walking through the pit. It was just so annoyed by the end of the night that he went off on one person. He goes, "You see anybody in here wearing regular clothes?" Right? And I was like,
yes.
"Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Nobody in here is wearing, we're all
was like,
employees."
yeah.
So yeah, that, I guess that would be like your first.
One of the, yes, right. Hello.
Yeah.
Like, you see
Nobody
anybody
else is in
here?
there. Yeah.
I think we should just get ropes.
Oh my God, I wish. But I think,
'Cause
like you were
there's
saying,
like
it's a hazard of tripping and stuff.
But nobody should be walking over the ropes, even
Yeah.
the dealers.
Yeah.
One of the female floors that we have who's like wild. She had some chick come in the pit and she comes at people in like a full T, like arms spread, chest out, like walks up to them like this so they like can't get past her. And she was like, "I don't know why. Like, why can't I'm just walking?" And she's like, "Because you don't work here." And she's like, "Okay." And she said the same thing. She was like, "Everyone standing where you stand right now works here." And she's like, "Oh," and then left. And I was like, "Why are you arguing?"
Yeah. Why are you arguing? But then again, a lot of people have that mentality of customer's always right. I'm just going to talk to a manager.
Right.
She's like,
please talk to a manager, call gaming, call the mayor. Call everybody. Call your lawyer.
Tell him you were in the
Tell
casino,
him I was mean to you.
And they're going to go, "Can't help you. Click."
Tell him I was mean to you. Let's run the cameras back.
The last thing we're going to talk about in this episode is people who make it rain. There's, this only happened one time to me. Has it happened anywhere else? I can't think of it happening anywhere else. Where I was on the table when it first started. And this guy comes through the casino. I didn't even realize it until like the second time he did it. And all of a sudden, I see the girl get off the box and she's picking up money. And I'm like, "What just happened?" I'm like, "Why is there money all over the floor?" I'm just like so out of it. And then he was coming back and then he goes, boom. He like pulls a bunch of money out and then he just throws it in the air. And I can be very introverted, so I was like, "I'm on the box next and I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want him to throw money at me. I don't want to."
Oh, Krystal. I would have been like,
I just got, yeah, I got really nervous at first because everyone's staring and she has to get out of the box and just pick up money from the floor. And I was just like, "I don't want that to be me." And then he left and he had thrown money at the other girl in the other box. And it was just the two at the very end that it first happened at. So then I get tapped out to go on the box and here he comes. And at that point I was like, "Fuck it, give me money." So I'm like, "Right here."
You guys had a really slow night that night too. So he kind of saved the night.
He really did. Because you know when it is like halfway through the night and everyone's just like, "We're not making money." And then the energy and the vibe starts to go down. He came in and like the energy picked back up, right? And it just made the night a little bit more fun. So he throws money at me. He throws money at the other girl. And then I'm like, her over there, because I want to see how much he's going to throw. And he wasn't going to the front of the pits. So I was like, "Go that way." And he went that way and he threw money at all of them. And then he left. And then he tells me, he goes, "I'll be back." And I was like, "Okay." At this point, I was
like, "But you don't have to."
No, at this point, I didn't care. I was like, "I'm do it again." Do it like 6 more times. And he came back a couple more times and then he was done. But you know how quick the rumors went around? They were like, "He got kicked out. He's not allowed to come back, blah, blah, blah." And then I asked.
That's because all the girls are used to them not letting that happen. Because there's been people in the past that have tried and they immediately, managers are like, "No," like, because they don't want that atmosphere.
Yes.
They're like, "This is not a strip club. These are not strippers. Like, you can hand them money, but you cannot do that."
Yeah,
like,
you can't make
they
it
don't
rain.
want the rowdiness. They don't want that. So that's probably why all those rumors run around. Because I'm sure all the girls were like, "Oh, he's getting kicked out." Like,
said he asked the manager and the manager said it was fine. And he didn't get kicked out. He was just done. He was done throwing money. he was done for the night and he left.
And I guess he's one of those players that like loses a few $100,000 a year there, type of a thing. But that's what he does at that property. But at that property, it's so tiny. There's like 1 or 2 boxes.
Yeah, I think there's
so
2.
They just let him do it, and like all the girls love it, and the manager's always there watching, and like he's always really respectful. So then he came over and I think our manager recognized him or knew he was coming or something. I'm sure there was some type of, oh, he's from this property. I guess it's fun, but just do it in a respectful way.
Yeah.
You can come throw money at us if they let you, I suppose.
If not, just hand us a stack. That's fine. We'll take it.
I was like, as long as it's respectful. Or throw us chips. I like when people throw chips.
No, not me. I can't catch them. You can catch them.
I can catch them. Oh, I'd be
just
catching them single-handed.
Put them on my box. Yeah. I'm like,
I told one table as a joke. I was like, all 3 of you at the same time, go. And they all like tossed it. And I was like, bounced out.
So that's it. We're halfway through the season. We're getting into October, or it is October already when this comes out. And we have 2 more episodes till Halloween. Halloween is going to be a fun episode. But the next one is going to be really fun because it's about married men. Ladies.
I was like, my birthday?
Well, that too. But
the married men. Yes. I can't wait to have, I'm just going to say her name because I'm sure she'll be on here. But I can't wait to have Victoria on here. Because she's got some wild ass stories from married men.
I bet.
Like we talked about harassment a little bit. Like that, she gets the crazies.
She gets crazy.
The married men, like she's married herself happily, like.
Yeah.
And she's like, when she tells me, she's like, I'm happily married.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, and she's like, happily.
Yeah, she has no qualms
married.
About it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the next episode. Remember, tip your
cocktail servers.
Yes.
Tip your dealers, because it's customary.
Oh, we have stuff.
We do. Tipping is customary. We're not just trying to hustle you. It is customary, especially if you win. We're making money.
We'll get that next episode. We'll talk about married men and money.
Yes. Tip your cocktail servers, tip your dealers, and
don't walk through the pit.
Don't walk through the motherfucking pit.
We'll see you on the next episode.
You're going to get jumped.
Bye.